From the hype around it being unreal to potentially becoming the worst DCU movie ever, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom screen testing reviews aren't looking so good, and something tells me the fans might not be all that happy when the movie finally releases. For those of you who don't know, DC just held test screenings for the upcoming Aquaman movie, and the results are quite disappointing to say the least. The insiders who saw the film said that it wasn't impressive at all, and their comments on the movie were pretty brutal. But before I get into that, let's throw it back to the first Aquaman movie that was released in 2018. The film received a lot of positive reviews from both the viewers and the critics. The first movie told the origin story of Arthur Curry, half human and half Atlantean. But we all know that DC has seen some drastic changes since then. James Gunn and Peter Safran have been appointed the new creative directors of the new DCU.
And it's one of our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation.
And the two have made some rather no-fan favorite decisions. Many ongoing projects and actors didn't make the cut in their vision of the DCU, which caused outrage among the fans. And of course, not to mention the whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp court drama.
To justify participating in the comic book world that I, up until that point, was kind of, admittedly a little ignorant to and unfamiliar with. I just didn't, it's not a world I'm familiar with.
But wait, all might not be lost just yet. Gunn and Safran did promise the fans that they'll see a very different and better DC in the future. But the current DCU is a whole different story, and reviews from insiders from the test screenings is a proof of it. Their overall verdict was the film is just not impressive. The Direct quoted an insider when discussing the test screening of Aquaman 2. According to the insider, they're half a dozen test screenings in, and things are not looking great for Aquaman. They further said that throughout the previous 6 months, they've heard nothing but how boring it is, and how it's not as good as the first movie. And to make things worse, Aquaman 2 definitely has the potential to be one of the worst DCEU movies of all time. Ouch. That is harsh. Another insider with the username Big Screen Leaks shared similar views. They said the same thing about how the test screenings for the movie have not been good, and what they need right now is for the director, James Wan, to improve this movie before December.
James.
Yes.
Aquaman, finally. How proud are you?
I am. I'm excited and I'm anxious and excited leading up to showing it, but I'm definitely more excited than anything.
Why anxious?
Well, you never know.
Big Screen Leaks even said that this movie experienced something that really never happens during test screenings, and expressed that whatever is wrong with the movie needs to be fixed immediately. One insider went on to say that this is one of the horrible things about being a scooper. When people know that there have been a lot of test screenings, their silence becomes quite telling. They did add that Juan is a good guy, and that they feel bad about how hard the situation has been. But if you ask me, the one thing that might be affecting the reception of the movie a lot is Amber Heard. Even though she has less screen time, Amber Heard is still in the movie. Yep, you heard that right. After all the court drama, which followed by the massive outrage over her casting.
I am very proud that our movie breaks a lot of ground. I play a character that, Mira, she's a superhero in her own right. She is not the woman version of the male character. She's not Aquawoman. She's Mira. She's her own superhero.
She's still in the movie. The thing is, I don't get how you choose to keep someone as controversial as that in your movie, and then expect for it to not receive any backlash. Back in 2020, Heard announced that she'll be reprising her role as Mera in Aquaman 2, despite reports online suggesting that she had been cut due to her legal battle with Johnny Depp. But after the trial between her and Depp ended in 2022, the makers of the movie made a bold decision to keep some of her parts in the movie and not discard or recast her character altogether. And if the petitions to remove Amber from the movie and the trending hashtags were any sign, you can very well imagine how the general public would feel when she comes on screen. With all that, the chances are that this will have a huge effect on the viewership when the movie actually does come out. But the real question still remains: how will the general public react to the film? According to updates, the situation around Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom film is just sad for the cast and crew at this point, especially after hearing that people walked out during the screenings. If I'm being honest, it does seem strange though that these people would walk out of the test screenings when they could have just told the studio what was wrong, even though it'll be a while before fans and critics give their final verdicts on Aquaman 2. This news could very well influence how people feel about the film before its premiere. This is also bad news for Warner Bros. Discovery, since Aquaman 2 is said to have one of the most expensive budgets for a DC movie. But that's not even the worst part. The terrible reception Aquaman 2 has received during test screenings could spell the end for Jason Momoa's reign as the Atlantean King.
It's never really happened to me, so it's a great feeling. It's an absolute great feeling to put in hard work and then, people not to be ripping it apart before it comes out, because that's always the hard thing is.
Even though the actor is deeply invested in the role of Arthur Curry, poor reception to the sequel may prompt him to switch to another DC character. And things are definitely bad if the lead actor himself is considering leaving the franchise. Sadly, a lead actor leaving DC sounds all too familiar at this point. However, there's one thing that Momoa said that has left everyone a bit confused, and that's the presence of multiple Batmen in Aquaman 2. Isn't that the upcoming Flash's thing? Well, back in 2022, Momoa posted a picture of him and Ben Affleck smiling for the camera. But what caught everyone's attention was the caption. It said Bruce and Arthur had reunited and that Aquaman 2 would be full of great things. I mean, what could be better than the return of Batfleck? But is that still on the cards? Well, Momoa talked about Batman's cameo in the upcoming Aquaman in an interview with The Wrap at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival, and that left everyone a bit confused, even Momoa. The actor said that he has no clue about the end result of the sequel or which Batman will be in it. I know what you're thinking. What does he mean by which? Well, many have speculated that either Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton, or even both, might return as Batman in the film. This came after Momoa discussed having many Batmen in the film with AP Entertainment last year. And if that's really true, I'm interested to see what happens. Jason said that he unfortunately couldn't share too many details regarding the reunion with the public. However, he did hint at the possibility of 1, 2, or even 3 Batmen in Aquaman 2. That's definitely something to look forward to. Speaking of which, even after all of these negative reviews, a lot of Amber Heard supporters believe Aquaman 2 can still be successful. Now, I'm not saying that she's the reason for these bad reviews, but I am saying that she's just way too controversial to be good for the film, even if she only got 20 minutes on screen. The worst thing here is that this kind of confirms her future in the franchise. Heard's fans have taken matters into their own hands and started a Twitter war. They're comparing the MCU's Thor movie to Aquaman's test screening. Thor: Love and Thunder was shown to the employees of the company and got a standing ovation. The movie did pretty well at the box office and made enough money to pay for itself, but the reviews were pretty bad, and Heard fans hope it's the same, or should I say the opposite case with Aquaman, but only time will tell. And if the creators don't make the necessary changes, that will probably be why Aquaman 2 becomes the worst DCU movie ever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.